Hello and welcome back to our annual Champions League quarterfinal predictions for the season 2021-22. Round of 16 produced some magical European nights, some massive upsets with the likes of PSG and Manchester United and mighty Juventus getting knocked out. I think this year's quarterfinals are mouth-watering and they are going to produce some historical results. I'm pretty sure about that. We'll start with Chelsea and Real Madrid. It is a repeat of last year's semi-final, and it was a pretty close semi-final. Chelsea had a supreme defense, and Tuchel's team managed to overcome Real Madrid last year, and they ended up winning the European Cup. But I think this Real Madrid under Ancelotti, it is becoming a ruthless machine. The way they have dismantled PSG in one of the greatest European games of all time, where they came back from literally 2 goals down and scoring 3 goals in space of 15 minutes, thanks to Karim Benzema. I think this season's Real Madrid, they are title contenders. They are already winning La Liga, and I think they are going to beat Chelsea. And Chelsea is having a lot of issues outside football. The club is run by a Russian billionaire Abramovich, and with all the things going on between Ukraine and Russia, I think it's going to distract Chelsea. So I'm putting my money on Real Madrid to knock Chelsea out in quarterfinals. Manchester City and Atletico is going to be a very interesting game. Diego Simeone, he did a job. He did a typical Simeone job on Manchester United at Old Trafford. And Pep Guardiola and Simeone, they have a history. Both of them, they met, I think, six or 7 years ago in 2016 semi-finals. At that time, Pep was managing Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich were title contenders that season. But Simeone did a job on Pep 6 years ago. But I think this Atletico Madrid is nowhere closer to the Atletico Madrid which we saw in 2014, 15, 16, 17. So I will definitely think that Manchester City is going to thump Atletico Madrid quite comfortably. Villarreal, well, I mean, they knocked Juventus out, which was a very surprising result, given the fact that Villarreal has largely been a Europa League team. They did manage to win Europa League last season, but Unai Emery, he did a smart job. In a way, he did to Juventus what Simeone did to Manchester United. And anyway, I mean, I think it's going to be a one-sided game. Bayern is another ruthless machine. They were unlucky. Bayern were actually unlucky last year to lose against PSG because a couple of their key players were injured. But I definitely think that Bayern Munich is going to beat Villarreal, and I think it's going to be a pretty one-sided game. Liverpool Benfica is going to be another one-sided game. I think Liverpool is doing superb. They are only 1 point behind Manchester City in Premier League. So it's I mean, and since their players are back from African Cup of Nations, they have already won Carabao Cup. They are actually on the rise. So I will definitely think that Liverpool is going to beat Benfica. Moving to the semi-finals. Manchester City is going to meet Real Madrid in epic semi-final. I think a few seasons ago, they met in the round of 16, where Pep's City, I think, knocked Real Madrid out in the round of 16. But that was a different Real Madrid team under different administration. Zidane, he was not happy at that time. The players were injured. I think this semi-final is going to be very close. Manchester City has habit of losing big European games, you know, even if they're playing a slightly inferior opposition. But last year, Manchester City, they did superbly well in Champions League. They managed to reach their first ever Champions League final. So they put that monkey off their shoulder. Because, I mean, we saw over the past 6-7 years, with the teams like Monaco, Tottenham. They were beating Manchester City in these big knockout games. I think this will be a season-defining game for Pep Guardiola. I think it's going to be a very close game, but I have a feeling Manchester City is going to do a job on Real Madrid, and for the second year in a row, Real Madrid will be knocked out in the semi-finals. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Karim Benzema produces another magical European performance. But I will definitely put my money on City to be in another final. Bayern Munich Liverpool. It is a repeat of a round of 16 knockout tie which took place in 2019. Liverpool managed to beat Bayern away from home, and it was a pretty one-sided game, and Liverpool ended up winning the Champions League that season. But I think this Bayern Munich is a very difficult opponent this time. They were very unlucky to actually lose to PSG, as I've just mentioned, because their players were injured. But I think this time Bayern is going to do a job on Liverpool. Liverpool has another problem. They are also playing in FA Cup, and they are only 1 point behind Manchester City, so they cannot rest their key players, during these key encounters. So I think fatigue will also play its part. So I will put my money on Bayern Munich to beat Liverpool in a close tie in the semi-finals of the Champions League. And the final will be between Manchester City and Bayern Munich. It's going to be a very close game. We had a close Champions League final last year where a single goal by Chelsea was enough. We might see another final like that. I don't know who is going to win. Bayern has pedigree experience of playing these big games, but now Manchester City, they are also contenders. They were in the final last year, and the game might go even into extra time or penalties. The time will tell. We will see you next year for our epic quarterfinal predictions. Thank you very much.